She walked into her best friend's house expecting comfort, but found her husband's wedding photo on the wall. In that moment, her perfect life shattered into a nightmare she never saw coming. Two people she trusted more than anything were hiding a secret darker than betrayal. But the deeper she digs, the more dangerous the truth becomes, and not everyone will walk away. Stay till the end, because the final twist will leave you completely speechless. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. The first thing Amelia noticed was the silence. It wasn't the peaceful kind, the kind that wrapped around you like a soft blanket after a long day. No, this silence felt wrong. Heavy, like the house itself was holding its breath. Amelia Johnson stood at the front door of Michelle Anderson's home, her fingers still curled around the spare key Michelle had given her years ago. "Use it any time," Michelle had said back then with a laugh. "My house is your house." Amelia had believed her. For years she had believed her. She stepped inside slowly, the door clicking shut behind her with a hollow echo that sent a strange chill down her spine. "Michelle," she called out, her voice light, almost playful. "I brought your favorite." Her words trailed off. No answer. That was odd. Michelle never ignored her calls. Never. That was why Amelia was here in the first place. 3 days. 3 whole days of silence. No texts. No calls. No social media activity. Nothing. And for someone like Michelle, who documented everything from her morning coffee to her midnight skincare routine, that wasn't just unusual. It was alarming. Amelia took a few steps further into the house, her heels clicking softly against the polished hardwood floor. The familiar scent of vanilla candles lingered in the air, but beneath it, there was something else. Something sharper. Something familiar. She frowned. That scent. Her heart gave a small, uneasy thud. "No," she whispered under her breath, shaking her head. "That's not possible." But it was. She knew that scent. She had bought it herself. For Lucas. Her husband. Amelia stood still, her breath catching as her mind began to race. "You're overthinking," she told herself quickly. "It's probably just coincidence. Plenty of men wore that cologne. Right? Right." Forcing herself to relax, Amelia moved further into the living room, placing the small bakery box she had brought on the glass coffee table. "Michelle," she called again, louder this time. Still nothing. But now, something else caught her attention. Near the entrance, neatly placed against the wall, was a pair of men's shoes. Amelia's gaze locked onto them instantly. Black leather. Minimalist design. Slight crease on the left toe. Her stomach dropped. "No," she breathed. She took a slow step closer. Then another. Each step heavier than the last. Because she knew those shoes. She had seen Lucas wear them just 2 nights ago. He had left them by their bedroom door. She remembered teasing him about it. "You're going to trip over those one day," she had said. And he had just laughed, pulling her into his arms like everything in the world was perfectly fine. Like nothing was wrong. Amelia's chest tightened. "This doesn't make sense," she whispered, her voice trembling now. Her heart was beating faster. Too fast. Loud enough that she could hear it in her ears. There had to be an explanation. There had to be. Maybe Lucas had stopped by. Maybe Michelle needed help with something. Maybe. Her thoughts shattered as her eyes drifted upward. And then, everything stopped. Time. Breath. Thought. Her entire world. On the far wall of the living room, elegantly framed in gold, was a photograph. A wedding photograph. Amelia's lips parted slightly, but no sound came out. Her feet moved before her mind could catch up. Slow. Unsteady. Like she was walking towards something she didn't want to see, but couldn't look away from. "No," she whispered again, shaking her head as she approached the frame. "No, no, no." But the closer she got, the clearer it became. The man in the photo was Lucas. There was no mistaking it. The same smile. The same eyes. The same face she had kissed goodbye that morning. But the woman standing beside him wasn't her. It was Michelle. Amelia's knees felt weak. Her vision blurred as tears instantly filled her eyes. "This isn't real," she said, her voice breaking. This isn't real. She reached out with trembling fingers, touching the edge of the frame as if it might disappear. But it didn't. The image remained. Clear. Sharp. Unforgiving. Michelle, dressed in a stunning white gown, her hand resting intimately on Lucas' chest. And Lucas, looking at her with a smile Amelia thought was hers. A memory meant for her. A moment she thought she had lived. But hadn't. Her hand dropped slowly to her side. Her breathing became uneven. Jagged. Like she was suffocating on the truth. Amelia. The voice came from behind her. Soft. Careful. Guilty. Amelia froze. For a moment she couldn't move. Couldn't turn around. Because deep down she already knew. Still, slowly, like it physically hurt, she turned. Michelle stood a few feet away. Her expression was calm, but her eyes gave her away. There was no surprise there. No shock. Only something far worse. Guilt. Michelle. Amelia's voice came out barely above a whisper. What is this? Silence stretched between them. Heavy. Unbearable. You were never supposed to find out like this, Michelle said quietly. The words hit Amelia like a slap. Her eyes widened in disbelief. Find out what? Amelia demanded, her voice rising now. What are you talking about? Michelle hesitated. And in that hesitation, everything began to crumble. Say something. Amelia shouted, her composure breaking. Explain this. Before Michelle could respond, the front door opened. Amelia's heart dropped. Slow, deliberate footsteps echoed through the house. And then, he appeared. Lucas Morgan. Standing there like nothing was wrong. Like this wasn't the moment their entire lives were about to collapse. Amelia stared at him, her eyes filled with pain, confusion, and disbelief. Lucas, she whispered. Tell me this isn't what I think it is. He didn't speak. Didn't rush to her. Didn't deny it. And that silence said everything. Amelia shook her head slowly, backing away as tears streamed down her face. No, you don't get to stand there and say nothing, she cried. Say something. Lucas exhaled slowly, running a hand through his hair. His expression wasn't panicked. It wasn't even ashamed. It was resigned. Like he had been expecting this moment. Like he had rehearsed it. Amelia, he began carefully. Her heart pounded violently in her chest. Every instinct inside her screamed for him to fix this. To explain it away. To make it all make sense. But then he said the words that shattered everything. I was married to Michelle first. The room spun. Amelia blinked, as if she hadn't heard him correctly. What? She whispered. Lucas held her gaze. No hesitation. No denial. Just truth. Or at least his version of it. I was married to Michelle before I met you. Amelia let out a hollow, broken laugh. That's not funny, she said weakly. That's not even possible. But neither of them laughed. Neither of them corrected her. And that's when it hit her. This wasn't a misunderstanding. This wasn't a mistake. This was real. Her best friend. Her husband. A wedding photo. A secret life. All hidden behind smiles, late-night calls, and years of trust. Amelia's voice trembled as she asked the question she wasn't ready to hear the answer to. How long? Silence. Then, longer than you think, Michelle said softly. And just like that, Amelia's world collapsed. Amelia didn't remember leaving the house. One moment, she was standing there, staring at the two people she trusted most in the world. The next, she was in her car. Driving. Blindly. Tears blurred her vision as the road stretched endlessly before her. But she didn't stop. Couldn't stop. Because if she slowed down even for a second, she would break. Her hands tightened around the steering wheel. How long? She whispered again, her voice trembling as the question replayed in her mind like a broken record. Longer than you think. Michelle's words echoed relentlessly. A hollow laugh escaped Amelia's lips, laced with disbelief and pain. Longer than I think, she repeated. What did that even mean? A year? 2? Her entire marriage? Her chest tightened. Her mind raced through memories. Every smile, every kiss, every I love you Lucas had ever said to her. Had any of it been real? Or had she just been convenient? By the time Amelia got home, the sky had darkened. The house felt different. Colder. Empty. She stepped inside slowly, her eyes scanning the space that once felt like safety. Now it felt like a lie. Her gaze landed on a framed wedding photo hanging on the wall. Her wedding photo. Her and Lucas. Smiling. Happy. In love. Or at least she thought they were. With shaking hands, Amelia yanked it off the wall. The glass shattered as it hit the floor. "Was any of this real?" she cried out, her voice cracking under the weight of betrayal. Silence answered her. Deafening silence. The next morning, Amelia sat across from Lucas at the dining table. He had shown up uninvited. Of course he had. Like he still belonged there. Like he still had a right to breathe the same air as her. Amelia's eyes were cold now. Red from crying, but steady. Stronger. "Start talking," she said flatly. Lucas leaned forward, clasping his hands together. "I didn't tell you because I didn't want to lose you." Amelia let out a sharp laugh. "You didn't tell me because you were married to my best friend." His jaw tightened slightly. "It wasn't like that." "Then what was it like?" she shot back. Silence. "Then, Michelle and we got married in New York. Years ago," he said slowly. "It was complicated." "Complicated?" Amelia repeated. "You call this complicated?" "We weren't working," he continued, ignoring her tone. "We were already falling apart when I met you." Amelia's stomach dropped. "When you met me," she repeated slowly. "So you were still married." Lucas didn't answer. He didn't need to. The truth was written all over his face. Amelia leaned back in her chair, shaking her head in disbelief. "Oh my God," she whispered. "I was the other woman." Amelia stood abruptly, pacing the room. "You said you divorced her," she said sharply. "You told me everything was over." "I was going to," Lucas started. "Going to?" Amelia snapped. "So you married me while you were still married to her?" Lucas ran a hand through his hair, frustration creeping into his expression. "I was going to fix everything," he said. "I just needed time." "Time to do what?" Amelia demanded. "Juggle 2 wives?" 3 days later, Amelia sat in a quiet office in downtown Los Angeles. Across from her sat a private investigator, a man named Daniel Reyes. He slid a file across the desk. "I think you should prepare yourself," he said carefully. Amelia swallowed hard. "I already have." But she hadn't. Not even close. Her fingers trembled slightly as she opened the file. Inside were documents. Photos. Bank statements. Legal records. And with every page she turned, her world shattered a little more. "There's no record of a divorce," Daniel said. Amelia's breath caught. "What?" "Lucas Morgan is still legally married to Michelle Anderson," he continued. "Which means?" "My marriage isn't real," Amelia finished, her voice barely audible. Daniel nodded grimly. "I'm sorry." Amelia flipped to the next set of documents. Her eyes scanned the numbers, then widened. No, this can't be right." Daniel leaned forward. "Those are transfers from your account." Amelia shook her head. "I never sent money to Michelle." "You didn't directly," Daniel said. "But Lucas did." Her heart dropped. Using her money, her trust, her life. That night, Amelia confronted Michelle. This time there was no shock, no hesitation, just truth. "You knew," Amelia said, her voice shaking with anger. "You knew he was still married when you introduced him to me." Michelle didn't deny it. "I didn't think it would go this far." Amelia laughed bitterly. "You didn't think it would go this far?" she repeated. "You watched me fall in love with him." "I didn't plan that part," Michelle said quietly. Amelia froze. "What do you mean you didn't plan it?" Michelle hesitated. And that hesitation said everything. Then finally, "We've done this before." The words hit like a bomb. Amelia's stomach twisted. "What?" Michelle looked away. "Lucas and we had an arrangement," she admitted. "We targeted people. Wealthy, successful people." Amelia felt sick. "You're lying." "I wish I was." "You were never supposed to be permanent," Michelle continued softly. "It was supposed to be temporary." Amelia's voice broke. So I was just a target? Michelle didn't answer. And that was answer enough. Amelia studied Michelle carefully. Something was off. The confidence Michelle once had was gone, replaced with something else. Fear. You're not telling me everything, Amelia said slowly. Michelle's eyes flickered. And for the first time, she looked afraid. That same night, Amelia's phone rang. Unknown number. She hesitated, then answered. Hello. Is this Amelia Johnson? Her heart skipped. Yes, who is this? This is Detective Harris, the voice said. We need you to come down to the station. Amelia's grip on the phone tightened. Why? A pause. Then, you're being investigated in connection with a financial fraud case. Amelia's blood ran cold. What? She whispered. And ma'am, the detective added, your name is all over it. The interrogation room was colder than Amelia expected. Or maybe it just felt that way. She sat stiffly in the metal chair, her hands clasped tightly together in her lap as the ticking clock on the wall echoed like a countdown. Every second louder than the last. Every second heavier. Detective Harris sat across from her, a thick file resting on the table. Amelia Johnson, he began, flipping it open. You understand why you're here, correct? Amelia swallowed hard. No, she said honestly. I don't. The detective studied her carefully. Then he turned the file toward her. Maybe this will help. Amelia's eyes dropped to the documents. Bank transfers. Signed authorizations. Property investments. All in her name. Her breath hitched. This isn't possible, she whispered. But it is, the detective replied calmly. These transactions link you directly to a fraud network we've been tracking for over 2 years. Amelia shook her head, panic rising. No, I didn't do this. I didn't even know about any of this until a few days ago. Then you're either lying, the detective said evenly, leaning forward, or you've been set up. Hours later, Amelia walked out of the station on temporary release. Her mind was spinning. Her life, her identity, had been hijacked. And the only people who could have done it were the 2 people she once trusted most. Lucas. Michelle. Her phone buzzed in her hand. A message. Unknown number. We need to talk. Alone. Amelia's heart pounded. She already knew who it was. The location was a quiet cafe on the edge of the city. Dim lighting. Few people. Perfect for secrets. Amelia arrived first, her eyes scanning every corner cautiously. Then, Michelle walked in. No designer clothes. No confident posture. No perfect smile. She looked different. Smaller. Weaker. Human. You came, Michelle said softly as she approached. I want the truth, Amelia replied coldly. All of it. No lies this time. Michelle nodded, sitting down across from her. You deserve that. Michelle took a deep breath. Lucas isn't who you think he is, she began. Amelia let out a bitter laugh. Oh, I think I know exactly who he is now. No, Michelle said firmly. You don't. Amelia's expression hardened. Then enlighten me. Michelle leaned forward slightly. He's done this before. Multiple times. Different cities. Different women. Amelia's stomach twisted. What? I was one of his first, Michelle admitted quietly. Not his partner, his victim. Amelia froze. That she hadn't expected. I didn't join him willingly, Michelle continued. At first, Amelia's eyes narrowed. At first, Michelle nodded slowly. He manipulated me. Controlled everything. My finances, my identity, even my family connections. Amelia felt a chill run down her spine. And then, she asked cautiously. Michelle looked down at her hands. Then I stopped fighting. Silence hung between them. Heavy. Complicated. I became part of it, Michelle admitted. Because I thought I had no way out. Why me? Amelia asked, her voice quieter now. Michelle hesitated. Then, because you were perfect. Amelia's chest tightened. Successful. Independent. Trusting, Michelle continued. Lucas saw you as an opportunity. And you? Amelia asked sharply. Michelle's voice broke slightly. I was supposed to help him. Amelia studied her carefully. If that's true, Why are you telling me this now? Michelle looked up, and for the first time, there were tears in her eyes. Because I'm done, she said. Amelia didn't respond, didn't move, didn't trust it. You think I'm lying, Michelle added quietly. I think you've lied to me for years, Amelia replied. Fair. Painfully fair. I've been recording him, Michelle said suddenly. Amelia blinked. What? Michelle reached into her bag and pulled out a small device. I knew this day would come, she said. So I started gathering evidence. Amelia stared at the recorder. You're serious? Michelle nodded. I can help you clear your name, she said. But we have to do this carefully. Amelia hesitated. Everything in her screamed not to trust her. But what choice did she have? The evidence. The police. Her name. Everything was collapsing around her. Tell me the plan, Amelia said finally. 2 nights later. Michelle's house. The same house where everything had fallen apart. Only this time, Amelia walked in prepared. Her heart raced as she stepped inside, every sense on high alert. Michelle was already there. Waiting. Are you ready? She asked quietly. Amelia nodded. Let's end this. The door opened. Lucas walked in. His eyes flickered with surprise when he saw Amelia. Then quickly, he smiled. That same charming, dangerous smile. Amelia, he said smoothly. I was wondering when you'd come around. Her stomach turned. You set me up, she said coldly. Lucas tilted his head slightly. I don't know what you're talking about. Stop lying. Amelia snapped. The accounts, the fraud, everything leads back to you. For a brief moment, his expression shifted. And that was all they needed. Michelle subtly pressed the recorder. Lucas exhaled slowly. Then, he laughed. A low, chilling sound. You're smarter than I gave you credit for, he said. Amelia's heart pounded. So it's true, she whispered. Lucas shrugged. You were useful, he admitted. Both of you were. Amelia felt her chest tighten. You ruined my life, she said. Lucas smirked. No, he corrected. I used what you gave me. Suddenly, Lucas' gaze shifted. To Michelle. And in that instant, everything changed. You really thought I didn't know, he said quietly. Michelle froze. Amelia's blood ran cold. He's bluffing, Amelia whispered. But Lucas smiled again. That same terrifying calm. I've been watching both of you, he said. In one swift motion, Lucas grabbed Michelle's arm, pulling her toward him. The recorder fell to the floor. Amelia gasped. Let her go. Lucas' grip tightened. You should have stayed out of this, he said coldly. Fear shot through Amelia. This wasn't a game anymore. This was real. Dangerously real. Sirens. Loud. Sudden. Closing in fast. Lucas froze. His eyes flicked toward the window. Red and blue lights flashed outside. Michelle had planned this too. Police, a voice shouted. Lucas released Michelle instantly, stepping back. For the first time, he looked cornered. Moments later, officers stormed in. Lucas didn't fight. Didn't run. He simply stood there. And smiled. As they cuffed him. As they led him away. As everything he built came crashing down. Weeks later, the charges were official. Fraud, bigamy, identity theft, financial crimes. Amelia's name was cleared. The truth had come out. Finally, Michelle cooperated fully with authorities. Her sentence was reduced. But not erased. Consequences still remained. Amelia stood in her empty home one evening, looking out at the city lights. Everything had changed. Everything. But she was still standing. Still breathing. Still here. And that meant something. Her phone buzzed. A message. Unknown number. Amelia frowned, opening it. Her heart stopped. Hi. I got your contact from an old file. Another message followed. I think. I'm married to Lucas too. Amelia's breath caught. Her grip tightened on the phone, as the screen glowed in the darkness. And just like that, she realized, this story wasn't over. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like, share, and subscribe to Boundless Echoes for more interesting stories. We really appreciate your support. Comment where you are watching from, so we can give you a shout out. See you in our next video.